Well, alright! Welcome back to the As It Should Be YouTube channel. Paul Bertolino here, and well, it's time for another track versus track video. And well, it is high time that Alice Cooper got the track versus track treatment. And well, I'm going to pit against one another two of the most classic early 70s Alice Cooper group albums. Two of my favorites. Killer versus School's Out. Yeah. Oh man, what albums. Now, I've mentioned this before, I'm sure, on previous track versus track videos, but in order for this to work, each album has to have the same number of tracks. You can't have, like 12 tracks on one and 9 tracks on the other and have it work out, because you don't want tracks left over. But what you can do in some cases is fudge it by dumping unsubstantiated, like there's certain tracks that are like 30 seconds, a 30-second instrumental link track or something. You can just dump that to bring the track count down, right? Well, that's what I did in this case. I'm going to dump Street Fight from this album to give it an even 8 tracks each, all right? And I have my sheet all ready to go. And, well, let's do this. Let's get in it. All right, so track number one on Killer is Under My Wheels. And that goes against, well, track number 1 on School's Out, the title track, School's Out. And, well, that's actually far easier than it should be. Way easier than it should be. In fact, yeah, I mean, I know exactly which one I'm going to pick. Under My Wheels. Under My Wheels, by far. School's Out is every bit as good of a track, every bit as classic, and you could easily argue that it's even better. But I have to admit, the burnout factor is just a bit much. But honestly, I don't know. I think even before I was burnt out on School's Out, I probably would have chosen Under My Wheels. I don't know. So anyway, track number 2 on Killer is Be My Lover. Okay? And that's up against track number 2 on School's Out, which is Looney Tune. Oh, man. Okay, well, now that's a contest. But you know what? I'm going with Be My Lover. Looney Tune is one of my very favorite songs on this record. But man, Be My Lover. I mean, it almost doesn't get any more classic than that. Ooh. Okay. All right. We're gonna get into some treacherous waters here. I can feel it. All right. So track number 3 on Killer is Halo of Flies, the super ultra classic deep track. All you Alice Cooper fans, you all know, and you all love Halo of Flies. The casuals may not know that one, but if you're a fan, this is high on your list. This song, a pretty long, almost prog-ish kind of a track, but it doesn't take itself at all seriously, like a good proper Alice Cooper track should not. And that's going up against Gutter Cat versus the Jets on School's Out. And man, that is simple as pie, man. Halo of Flies. Halo of Flies. I mean, Gutter Cat versus the Jets is a great track. But come on, man. Halo of Flies? You fucking kidding me there, huh? Woo. Okay, so number 4 on Killer is, man, Desperado. Ooh, what a track. And that goes up against, whoa, Blue Turk. It would have been going up against Street Fight, but I cut that out. And instead, as a result, I have it going up against Blue Turk. And those are 2 of my very, 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 very favorite tracks. Desperado is just, oh my god. And Blue Turk is, oh my god. And you know what, man? It's difficult to imagine anything winning out over Blue Turk. But Desperado. Oh, you know what? I need to mark those down. That was easy. Since the first 4 have all been Killer, it wasn't too tough to remember what we had. Okay, so far, Killer is wiping the floor with School's Out. All right, well, we have a whole other side to go here, so we'll see if School's Out can come and, redeem itself. Okay, so track number 5 on Killer is You Drive Me Nervous. Man, that is a great, great track. I mean, well, every one of these tracks are great. And that goes up against My Stars from School's Out. And you know what? School's Out gets one because I'm giving that to My Stars. You know, You Drive Me Nervous is a stone cold classic, but I just love My Stars so much. And I actually love it so much more. I'll tell you something. Back when I was a kid and I was first really, really getting into these records, and I was in the honeymoon stage with Alice Cooper, I would have chosen You Drive Me Nervous. I definitely loved that far more than My Stars. It took me a little while to warm up to My Stars, but now, My Stars without even thinking about it. Okay, so now, track number 6 on Killer is Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. And that is going up against, on School's Out, Public Animal number 9. I'm going to have to think about this. Yeah, Yeah, Yeah versus... You know what? I'm giving that to School's Out too. Public Animal number 9. See? School's Out's coming in. It's coming back. Or it's coming in at all. Alright, so track number 7 on Killer is Dead Babies. Okay? And Dead Babies goes up against Alma Mater from School's Out. Couldn't be easier. Alma Mater. Alma Mater, so, oh my god, by a mile. Dead Babies is great, and I think most of you probably would choose Dead Babies, but I just have always loved Alma Mater. Alma Mater has always been one of my very, very favorites, and yeah, I just absolutely take that over Dead Babies. No problem. Now, the final track on Killer is the title track, coincidentally entitled Killer. Alright, so that goes up against Grand Finale. Well, that's the easiest choice out of any of these so far. Of course I'm going to go with Killer. Grand Finale, I don't really... I never really liked that track. I mean, for me, the album kind of ends at Alma Mater. I don't think I've ever really even sat... Well, I mean, I have, but I pretty much never just sit and listen to Grand Finale. I mean, I usually stop the record when that comes on. It's just... that's the one track I think that keeps School's Out from being an absolutely perfect album. And I actually prefer Killer, and I think it's their finest album, because I think it's the most perfect out of all their albums, and I think it's their best collection of songs. And, well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious which one won, and, yeah, Killer got it. I'm not even going to count. Killer won that, all right? And that's not because School's Out doesn't kick arse in a mighty way. But, you know, when you go track against track like that, you never know what's going to happen. Even the album that you like the most might lose. But the one I like better did, in fact, win in this case. And, bully for you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching another Track versus Track. And, you know, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, please click the bell, or else they won't tell you that I've made videos. And, you know, comment and tell me which album you like better. Give me a ranking. You know, tell me how stupid I am for choosing Alma Mater over Dead Babies. And, you know, all that good stuff. And, you know, like, and all that kind of stuff. And, anyway, thank you guys all for watching, and thank you for all the people who have subscribed and who have commented, and, I'll see you in the next video. Well, dumbass me, I forgot something very important on this Track versus Track video, and that is that I want to mention, and I insist on mentioning on every Track versus Track, that the idea for Track versus Track was originated by Dr. Fuck of the Almost Human YouTube channel. Yes, Ralph Vieira, aka Dr. Fuck, is the guy who first did Track versus Track, and I sent him an email and asked him if he was okay with me taking the idea and using it on my channel, and he was very kind and he was very gracious, and he said, have fun with it, no problem, and I appreciate that. Therefore, I never want to put out a Track versus Track video without acknowledging, shout out to Dr. Fuck. And if you're one of the few people who haven't watched his videos, who haven't subscribed to Almost Human, I recommend you do so. Look down in the description, you're going to see a link to his channel, and that's all there is to that.